Welcome back to Trusted Legal Guide and part 2 of 3 of Understanding Tort Law, the basis for your personal legal case. Now let's take a look at the specific types of torts we mentioned earlier. First was trespass. Trespass is defined by the act of knowingly entering another person's property without permission. Such action is held to infringe upon the property owner's legal rights to enjoy the benefits of ownership. Criminal charges, which range from violation to felony, may be brought against someone who interferes with another person's legal property rights. Criminal trespass depends on the venue of jurisdiction and case circumstance, and falls under different subsets of the law. When a trespass is carried out against another person rather than against his or her property, the trespasser is likely to be charged with assault or battery. Actions involving the real property of another are handled as trespass to land. Violations of personal property are handled as torts. Under tort law, a property owner may bring a civil suit against a trespasser in order to recover damages or receive compensatory relief for injuries suffered as a direct result of the trespass. In a tort action for trespass, the plaintiff must prove that the offender knowingly had a legal duty to respect another person's rights to property, but violated that person's rights, which resulted in direct injury or loss to the plaintiff. Assault is the next type of tort, and there are 3 types of assaults, that fall under tort law. 1 is intentionally putting another person in reasonable apprehension of an imminent harmful or offensive contact. No intent to cause real physical injury needs to exist, and no physical injury needs to result. Second, with the intent to cause physical injury, making another person reasonably apprehend an imminent harmful or offensive contact, especially an attempted battery. Third is with the intent to cause physical injury, actually causing such injury to another person, essentially the same as battery. And since we've just mentioned battery, we should define it. And there are 2 definitions. In criminal law, it is a physical act that results in harmful or offensive contact with another person without the person's consent. In tort law, battery is the intentional causation of harmful or offensive contact with another's person without that person's consent. Essentially, battery always boils down to intentional harmful contact. The next type of tort we will look at is negligence. Negligence is defined as a failure to behave with the level of care that someone of ordinary prudence would have exercised under the same circumstances. The behavior usually consists of actions, but can also consist of omissions where there is some duty to act. For instance, when one has a duty to help victims of one's previous conduct. Primary factors to consider in determining whether the person's conduct lacks reasonable care are the foreseeable likelihood that the person's conduct will result in harm, the foreseeable severity of any harm that may ensue, and the burden of precaution to eliminate or reduce the risk of harm. In other words, should the negligent person reasonably have known their actions would cause harm, and did the negligent person foresee how much harm their negligence would cause? And finally, did they do anything to reduce the potential harm their actions would cause? There are 5 elements that are required to establish a prima facie case of negligence, and they are 1. The existence of a legal duty to exercise reasonable care. 2. A failure to exercise that reasonable care. 3. Cause in fact of physical harm by the negligent conduct. 4. Physical harm in the form of actual damages. And 5, proximate cause, which is a showing of the harm is within the scope of liability. And now please go on to part 3 of Understanding Tort Law, the basis for all personal injury cases. If you, a friend, family member, or someone you know has been hurt or injured and need help, we are happy to refer you to attorneys with knowledge and expertise in your area of need. Our preferred attorneys will help you with a free, no cost, no obligation consultation to discuss your personal situation and how they may be able to help you through this difficult time. Don't wait. Get the money you and your family need and you deserve right now. Simply fill out the client referral form below and we will have a preferred attorney contact you directly. This website is not operated by a law firm. We are a group of consumer advisors and only provide general information about the law, not specific legal advice. True legal advice can only be given by a licensed attorney. Although we go to great lengths to make sure our information is accurate and useful, the laws vary considerably in different jurisdictions, from state to state and even from county to county, and laws change frequently. That's why we strongly recommend you consult with an attorney to discuss the laws in your area and how they apply to your particular situation.